Thanks, Trace. Well, it's great having you on. So tell us, what is Konala? What do you guys do?
Konala is a healthy fast food franchise. So we do protein bowls and salads, and we use the drive-through model to serve that. So picture like a Sonic or Dutch Bros, kind of one of those walk-up drive-through only models, but we serve protein bowls and salads.
All right. Well, what are you guys known for? What's some of the best items on the menu that people are raving about?
Our most popular would be, we've got three, they're kind of tied for most popular. So we got burrito bowl, we got teriyaki chicken bowl, and we have a Greek bowl with a sirloin steak. So
Wow.
we do rice bowls. That's our most popular. Some people do the salad, but basically you pick whatever bowl and then you can pick your base. So the toppings are all kind of set for you. You can modify it as you want, but you can pick your base to be white rice, brown rice, greens, or any combination of the two. We've got grilled chicken tenders. Everything's gluten-free on the menu, and we're just trying to change the way that people view traditional fast food by realizing that it can be healthy. So it's kind of an oxymoron to do healthy fast food, but I think it's possible. So that's what we're trying to change the game with.
All right. So how did we come up with the company name?
The name is after our dogs, Kona and Nala. So we've got two rescue dogs. They're just mutts. One of them rescued out of Texas, one out of Hawaii. Nala's my wife's dog, Kona's my dog. So we kind of have like a little bit of a battle with those. But we love the lifestyle of health and wellness. Our dogs push us to go outside, go on hikes. Figured that there's kind of the two ways to people's hearts with business, and that's through their kids or their animals.
True.
And that's what we're doing with the dogs. We've even got like healthy food for the dogs too. You go to Starbucks or some of these other brands, and they've got like a pup cup, the
Of course.
puppuccinos.
I know about the puppuccinos.
We do a little cup of grilled chicken for the dogs. So we're even healthy for the pups.
Wow. Okay. I love this. So it is healthy, fast food, and you have a drive-through,
Yes, sir.
which that's different.
It is. So I've done meal prep for 15, 16 years now. And we can get to some of my backstory in the past, but in the military, I'd help people learn how to eat well, how to get to higher levels of physical fitness. When they were going to get kicked out of the military, then I'd teach them how to eat properly. Usually it's controlled by diet or a poor diet that somebody had. After the military, I've just continued to help people to eat better, learn that it's not that complicated to eat well. There's some of those secret things like mayo, sauces, all these things that it's not as complicated as people make it to eat well. So I've always just enjoyed teaching people how to eat healthier and always focused on that myself and realized that could translate over into our business as well.
That's awesome. All right, Trace. So give us your backstory. How did you get started? What made you get involved in this business, and what were you doing beforehand?
Yeah, so I'll start with our first business and then go backwards to what made us transition into Konala. But our first business was a food truck and a bar, and we did the opposite of healthy fast food. We had a burgers and fries food truck, and we had a bar. So it was my wife's dream to always own a bar. She's been in like Chili's was her first job. She did a Hard Rock Cafe. She was a bar manager out in Honolulu where we met. And she just loved working at these breweries, these bars. She always wanted to own a bar and didn't think it was quite possible to own one. I convinced her that it was. And our strategy was to open a food truck as a means to an end to open a bar. So we started a burgers and fries food truck in Coeur d'Alene. After about 5 months open, we had an opportunity to buy the bar. I was previously selling stuff on Amazon, investing in stocks, sold most of that to buy the real estate to build a bar. And we had that open just a few months later, and that was in 2018. So about 6 and a half years ago for the food truck, that's what we started. We won Best Burgers in Idaho, Best Bar in Idaho for 3 years in a row. We were doing pretty good at it. And then I discovered the franchise model, and we were trying to think about how we wanted to grow and scale. And the bar and food truck was originally what we were going to do for franchising, and realized it's oversaturated for burgers. It really wasn't that different. I think that ours were high quality, very good, but it was just not franchisable as the more I learned about franchising. So we actually had a couple of properties that we were going to build those burger bunker buildings on and scrapped it all to just start over. We're not solving a problem with burgers and fries. It was oversaturated. It wasn't the best for the franchise model. It wasn't as profitable as it should be. So we started over from scratch. What's a problem that we could solve? All my mentors told me that you need to grow the biggest businesses, to have the most success, you need to solve a problem. So what problem do we have experience with that we could do in food that we could solve someone's problem? And that is the accessibility to healthy food. So that was our mission from the very beginning. We wanted to make healthy eating as delicious and convenient as possible. I want people to realize that you can eat healthy and it can taste good and it could be just as fast or faster than traditional fast food. So the motivation for all of that's where we can go back to my early life. When I was 2, I started having seizures. I had Lennox-Gastaut epilepsy. I was starting to have over 100 seizures a day. And I got diagnosed by doctors with Lennox-Gastaut epilepsy, that I was going to have so many severe seizures, that I was going to be severely retarded and so brain dead I was never even going to be able to learn how to read, let alone hold much of a conversation. And that I would die of a continuous grand mal seizure before I saw my 13th birthday. So that was kind of the grim outlook, and that was the opinions of doctors all across the country. And my mom never quit, never stopped looking for a solution. One of her friends told her about this doctor, Hulda Clark, down in Mexico. She was practicing in Mexico because a lot of it was not accepted practice in America yet. And now a lot of it is. But my mom called her, and while these doctors were telling me that I was going to die, and I was wearing a helmet for a couple of years, like I was just having the 100 seizures a day, and she called this doctor and told her my story, told her what was going on, and said, "Do you think you can help him?" And she said, "I think I could cure him." So we went down to Mexico, started the practice with her. It was a combination of some of her technologies, like she treats it as a parasite driven. I got bit in the face by a dog when I was younger, so that was what caused the parasite that caused all the epilepsy. And this doctor had the combination of her technology and mostly through nutrition. So I was cured through nutrition at an early life. We started the practice with her. All the other doctors said, "You take him off all his meds, he's going to die." And we figured I'm going to die anyways, so might as well try. The doctor says that they think they could cure me. So we started the practice, started eating according to her diet. And by the time I was 7, I was completely seizure-free, and I'm the first person to be completely cured of Lennox-Gastaut epilepsy with no ongoing symptoms.
Wow.
So that's the motivation for the healthy eating. I had a very different childhood. My mom made all of my food growing up. Until I was 14 or 15, I really ate a strict diet. We didn't test going off of the diet. We didn't test just eating whatever I wanted until I was about 14 or 15. And then I was in school, had to start eating lunches there, and realized that I am completely cured. I can eat whatever I want pretty much. So I went off the deep end. I ate a deep dish pizza and a blue Powerade every single day for a year. I was like, I never really had pizza that much, and it was fantastic. I dove into candies, all that stuff, and just saw how it affected my health too, though. I was always pretty elite levels of sports growing up, and got back to focusing on proper diet after I went off the deep end and tried the pizza everyday thing. But that was the early motivation for the eating well, and why that's become our lifestyle of just health and wellness for the rest of our lives.
Trace, that is an incredible story. Amazing. What about, gosh, I'm just thinking this out loud here. I mean, you had a strong enough why to create Konala. Clearly, your story, is going to resonate with people, and you're trying to do something that's truly different.
Yeah, I mean, you realize that there's so many issues with people's health these days that could be cured through a proper diet. Right now, the current stats this year from the CDC was that there's 74% of Americans are overweight, 42% are obese. I think a lot of that is due to fast food and the convenience and the accessibility of it. So when we started thinking about my why and the problem that we could solve, that's why the speed and convenience is so crucial, and why we wanted to focus on the drive-thru model. We want to change the health issues and the accessibility to healthy food for Americans, and I think it has to be through the drive-thru. We have to be just as fast and convenient and delicious as these other fast food concepts.
Thank you for tuning into the Emerging Franchise Brands podcast. For additional insights, guest applications, and to stay connected, visit us at efbpodcast.com. The Emerging Franchise Brands podcast is for entertainment purposes only, and the views expressed do not necessarily represent those of Emerging Franchise Brands, its host Frank Fumey, or Emerging Franchise Group LLC. Any discussed franchise or investment opportunity requires thorough investigation, obtaining proper disclosure documents, and expert consultation before making any investment decisions. The podcast and its host do not offer professional advice or endorsements, and they hold no responsibility for actions, representations, accuracy, or consequential damages related to the podcast content.